that they're going to rise. Also true at a rate that is extremely low compared to like what people like. It's not going to be 10 feet in 10 years. It's going to be a foot in 10 years. I don't know the math. Like don't quote me. Let's look at that. We should look that up. That's an interesting bit of information to find. But they're not saying anything like that. They're just saying that sea levels are going to rise. True. All this stuff is like hyped propaganda so far. Keep going.
Okay.
Reports authors have to say.
Authors had to say
there is no denying that some of the impacts are irreversible on.
Here, pause.
Okay.
It's no denying that some of the impacts are irreversible. Obviously, all that's saying is that we've melted ice caps in the north. That's all that's saying. That is true. We can't get those.
Volden. Listen to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Are you saying only the ice caps melting is what we've done?
No, I'm saying ice caps, carbon emissions in the atmosphere, plastics in the sea. I'm saying like deforestation, carbon emissions. There's poisoning our environment, our streams and river systems. Our soils are depleting and different nutrition across the world. Our rainforests that require whose the Sahara feeds, by the way, if you know that little tidbit, that the dust storms of the Sahara feed the rainforest and help them grow. That whole Gulf Stream craziness of the wind slip streams and all that stuff, those are depleting in certain aspects. I know what you're saying, and I know what they're saying as well. That is all true. That is not saying that the world is doing anything but changing as we're interacting with it. I'm agreeing that we need to change what we're doing. I'm agreeing we need to switch to better means of being resourceful for our environment. All this stuff I agree with, all of it. It's still not saying, nothing has said here 10 years. Nothing has said 20 years. Nothing. The
okay,
only number,
all right, let's keep going.
2,000 years so far.
Okay, let's keep going.
Centuries, on time scales of centuries to come. And this is really
centuries to come. Really important. To
Volden. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, you want me to continue?
Yeah, no, I'm going to read it as we go along. I want this is important. Go ahead.
Okay.
To know also that climate change is a fact that's already happening. It's
also true. Nothing they're saying is wrong.
Go away.
It's not going away. Also true. Climate change. The climate will change. This is nothing like seriously, this is the biggest fucking propaganda video I've ever fucking seen.
Volden, do you know the difference between temperature and climate change?
I'm not saying temperature, I'm saying climate change.
Okay. So what does it mean if the climate changes?
The climates change. They go from one climate to another climate.
All right, and normally it's over a span of how much time, Volden?
It varies.
Give me an estimate.
In human history, we've river streams create extremely interesting shapes and lakes throughout their delta procedural pathways that they have. Tsunamis.
Flows of rivers don't do anything for the climate. Tsunamis don't do anything. What does it mean? Give me a time span from climate changing to another climate.
I can't, dude. That's a different. So here's what you're trying to say, and again, I agree. We have an impact on changing our climate that has shortened a process, or I guess quickened.
Yeah, I was about to say, hasten.
This is still not suggesting that there are irreversible damages that are going to be so vastly important that we aren't. This is just saying that there are irreversible damages that we will be impacted with for the next couple centuries, next generations, and all. It has not said a single stitch of we got 10 years yet, we got 20 years. Continue. I want to hear this.
Okay. All right.
To say that unless immediate action is taken to dramatically reduce greenhouse
What does it say right there? Unless immediate action is taken to dramatically reduce the greenhouse effect.
gas emissions, then global temperatures
Global
will rise.
temperatures will rise.
They think they will
also
now reach
true.
the 1.5
They think
degrees
they will now
Celsius.
reach the 1.5 degrees Celsius. Continue. Here.
Do you understand what that means, Volden?
Yes, I do. It's a bad thing. See the next part. This part's
okay.
Next,
okay.
Limits set out in the 2015 Paris Agreement in the next 20 years or so.
Next 20 years or so,
possibly even
we'll
exceed 2 degrees Celsius by the end of this century. Celsius limits set out.
This is so important.
Uh-huh.
They will now reach the 1.5 degrees Celsius limit set out in the 2015 Paris Accord Agreement in the next 20 years or so. In the next 20 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
And could possibly even exceed 2 degrees Celsius by the end of this century.
By the end of this century. By the end of the century. That's 2100, by the way. All of that is possibly, could be, or so. Like, they're doing this on purpose, dude. Did you read the paper? Because I read the paper.
Oh, and what did it say, Holden?
I don't remember. I don't have it up anymore. I read it 2 days ago.
So, is that fine? Is that fine? In your mind, Holden, is that okay?
Is what okay?
For us to reach the 1.5 to 2 degrees Celsius difference. Do you think that's okay?
Not going to end the world, though. We're going to still be here because it's like, what's going to happen? We're going to be living with more tsunamis, more impactful environmental changes, and like we're still going to be dealing with it as a society. Like we're not going away in the next 100 years, dude. It's going to suck for a lot of people, and let's change it, knowing that it's coming, and prevent as much of it as we can. We can't stop what we've already done. I can't go back in time, dude. Right? I can only change what's going forward. Right?
Okay, look, let me. I'm sucky when it comes to using examples there or metaphors. Okay. If you are continuously bashing your head against the wall and they tell you it's a bad idea, you're going to get brain damage from it, and you're suggesting, let me just keep bashing my head against the wall for a couple more years and it'll be fine. I'll stop then when it's really an issue. Is that what you're saying, Volden?
No, I'm saying that there's a better way to get through the wall.
Okay, so what? Okay, Volden. Okay. All right.
Are they trying to get through? Because if they're trying to get through, then there are better methods. Here's the other thing. That person that bashed their head up against the wall, even though it's stupid and they had a horrible time doing it, people that, like, the wall is now, like, dented in such a way where it's easier to get through it for others. In fact, if you just had a herd of zombies, like stupid individuals, like bashing the wall with their heads, you would still get through. Like, you would still get through the wall, and you don't realize that, dude. Like, people are martyrs. I agree that people can be uneducated and find themselves displaced with experiences that benefit them, so, like, cognitive. That's not their fault. It's not their fault that they only learn hair care products because that's what their mom knows. That's not their fault. But they probably know hair care products better than I do. I mean, you can probably tell. I bet they know hair care products better than you do, Mr. Baldy. You get my point, though. Like, people are just... Let's continue this video.
Okay.
Frequency of extreme weather events.
Frequency of extreme weather events, unprecedented. Still true. Still not having any kind of doomsday approach. Still going to be here in the next 100 years. We're still here. Everything is suggesting we're still going to be here. Continue.
Unprecedented in the historical record. And of course, we are already seeing such events. This summer, we've seen a killer heat wave hit British Columbia, intense rainfall leading to devastating floods in Europe and China. And right now, we are watching those terrible wildfires in Greece, which is true
because of our impacting global warming. All of that is absolutely true. None of it is suggesting that we're going to be dead in 10 years or 20 years, or that it's going to be so vastly
temperatures linked to climate change
on the planet or something.
Oh, okay. You understand the concept of cause and effect, right? You pretty much understand, right?
Are you trying to suggest that this is a snowball effect, that once it starts, there's no turning back?
Yeah, Volden. What do you think it means?
it means that you're saying that this snowball effect that takes 100 years, and I think we agree on that.
No,
Like,
Volden, you're going with the extreme and saying 100 years.
What
They
number
can't give they can't give a precise
What
number.
number would you like to give? What number? I will agree with your number.
It doesn't matter the number.
Let's use a number. I need to use a number. 20 years? Let's use 20 years.
Oh my God, Volden, this is what I'm saying. You want to hyper focus on a specific. No.
It doesn't
What?
matter. The point is, it doesn't matter. The point is if it's any length of time that's like any length of time that we all agree on, and we can see the ball approaching us, it might be getting bigger. You're right. It is a snowball effect. You're right. But we can see it's not going to hit us for the next 20 years. We can see it coming.
Volden, okay. Wait 1 second. Wait 1 second. Let's go with you and this idea that this snowball is going to hit us in 20 years.
Yeah.
What are we going to do prior to that 20 years?
Plan to get it to not hit us or move so that it doesn't hit us. All of these options are possible because
Volden, what is the Earth? It's a generalized question. What is the Earth?
We're living on the planet.
Right, and it is an enclosed.
You're trying to say that it's a closed system?
Right, okay. Where do you think we're going to move? Where do you think we're going to, like, just... What?
Plenty of space and resources here on this planet with plenty of time to fix and create processes that can take carbon out of the atmosphere to reverse the issues that we've already created. There's ways and methods to approach in cleaning up the atmosphere. Ocean floors to get plastics out of them and then put them in the ground where they belong.
Volden.
There's so many things.
Volden, the governments of the world have not agreed on a singular plan to fix the problem. How do you expect the world to fix the problem?
They are. They just are. There was one campaign.
You keep saying they are, Volden, and you have zero proof for this.
I'm just about to give you one.
Give me one what? Proof of
there
what?
There are companies that don't require the government to agree on what solution to do that are stepping in and doing their own thing. There's one company in particular that was happening right before COVID hit that was planting a tree. For every $1 donation, they were planting a tree. They planted millions.
Volden, that does almost nothing to solve the problem. If one tree... Okay, let me give you an example. If one tree takes out 1 liter or we'll say 1 liter of carbon dioxide out of the air, but we're pumping 200 liters in every fucking second, that does nothing.
Well, but 200 trees would solve that problem with your numbers.
Per second? I didn't say that trees were sucking it out per second. If that's the maximum one tree can do, and 200 liters per second, that is that is a ridiculous attempt to plant a single tree to try and negate 1 second, 200 trees to negate 1 second.
Dude, your point is irrelevant because every one of those trees that they planted, even if it's a small percentage of net zero of -0 carbon emission, if your carbon footprint is a negative gain in that system, which it is for that, it was super beneficial, and I followed it quite extensively from a data perspective, so I know a lot about this. I'd like to share that with you at some point. But it's extremely beneficial. And here's the thing: this is what you don't realize is even if it was like 1% or less than 1%, it's that much additional time that we now have to solve other problems.
Okay, I will. Volden,
company, and there's hundreds, if not thousands, of companies trying to.
Volden, let me give you the rundown of how this scenario plays out. Let's say they plant 1 tree per million. So they plant 1 million trees. Let's say this is being done all over the planet, right? Trees have to mature. They still have to suck the carbon out of it, right? Do we understand how it works? They suck the carbon, they use it, right? They contain it